There's Heather. Good. All right, Heather, hi.
Meeting, hopping over to here.
Welcome, welcome. So we're good. We're going to start the meeting. All right. This is the Conservation Commission's October 15th meeting. We're called to order at 7:03. I am going to be taking notes tonight because Laura's not here, so bear with me if I stop to write some things down. Present tonight for our meeting is Nora Jones, Kathy Demers, Bob Shabbat, Heather Ellickson, and Jackie Kulig. We are going to seat, we have an alternate here. Heather, we can seat you for Laura or Marilyn. So does somebody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to seat Heather in place of Laura
Okay,
Rodriguez.
thank you. Any comments? I hear a second. Second to seat Heather?
I'll second.
Okay, thanks, Jack. Okay. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay. All right. Thank you. Moving on to approval of the minutes from July 16th. We did not have a meeting on August 20th or September 17th. Does anybody want to make a motion on the minutes?
So moved.
Okay. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Was that Nora?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Any discussion on the minutes from July 16th?
No.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Nays? Abstain?
Abstain.
Okay, Heather? So moved. Okay, present to speak. We have Tessa Gutowski and Allie LeMay here with us tonight, both interested in joining the commission. Welcome.
Thank you.
What I'd like to do is ask you both if you have if you don't mind, perhaps just telling us a little bit about your background, your interests on being in the commission. Tessa, you want to go first?
Sure. Hello, everybody. I'm very interested in serving on the commission. I've known the good work that you guys have been doing for the past, 30 years or more. I've been in the town since 1987 and served on the Wetlands Commission for about 30 years. And during that time, there's a lot of interaction between the Wetlands Commission and the Conservation Commission. Serving on, town plans of conservation development, whatever comes up. I spoke on behalf of the Wetlands Commission to support the Conservation Commission's work with regards to acquisition of property and stuff like that. So it's a privilege to serve on a commission. I served 30 years on the Wetlands Commission. I stepped down. I figured that's enough, but now I want to go back into to give back to the community. So that would be good. Professionally, I'm retired state of Connecticut. I worked with, I was with the Department of Environmental Protection for about 35 years. Actually started my career in wildlife and then parks and then the regulatory side of the agency, and then moved over to planning section. So I've got substantial background in that. And my degree actually is from UConn Natural Resource Management with a master's in ecology. So I'm looking forward to working with the commission if that's something that the commission would vote on. So I'm looking forward to being a part of the good work you guys have been doing for maintaining properties, looking for opportunities to purchase properties. Your commission has been really valuable in providing input to the town boards and commissions with regards to your properties and how you see things going on those sites or the direction the town's going with regards to our resources. So anyway, interested in serving. So I'll leave it at that.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Tessa? Okay. Ally, hi.
Hi, I'm Allie. I actually grew up in the town. And then I left, went to school at UConn, have a degree in environmental science. I then moved to Manchester for a brief period of time, but I'm now back in Willington. You all probably know my mom. She is Patty Phillips. I'm interested in joining. I spent a lot of time in the parks. I hear about what you guys do, and it's always good things coming from wherever I meet in the parks, and just I value our natural resources and making sure there's open space and spaces for people to go and hike in Willington and allow nature to be preserved within our town is always really important. I work as an environmental consultant right now for a company called Stantec. I mostly do remediation and soil contamination kind of work. So usually after the fact that it's already been a problem. So I can know sort of what can happen if you don't take care of your environment. So I think there's a lot of good work, and I'm interested in helping you guys continue what you do and educating our landowners about how they can get involved as well.
Wonderful. That's great. Thank you. Questions for Ally? Okay, great. Well, ladies, you're welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting. We'll get down at the end. We're going to be talking about membership, and we'll be discussing recommendations for having appointments to the commission. If you want to hang out till then, that'd be great.
Very good.
Okay. All right, moving on to finance. Carol, as you know, Carol Jordan, who has been our long-term treasurer, has moved away and officially resigned from the commission. Currently, just kind of stand in today for her, so to speak, reporting on the budget balance. We have $1,440 left of our $1,500 that we get every year. A lot of what I'm saying too will just be for the benefit of the people who will be perhaps joining the commission. So we get about $1,500 a year that we use to spend on resources for the park, building materials, educational materials, paying for dues for CACIWC, which is the Connecticut Association of Conservation and Inland Wetlands Commissions. We use the money also to work with other partners such as the library to do programs, to purchase books on the environment for, the library to keep. So that's how we use our funds primarily. We'll be coming up with a budget request season. Will probably be the end of December. So we would decide as a commission how much we're going to request for next year. And the funding year runs from July 1st through June 30th. So we've got a while to spend what we have here. ARPA funds that we've expended to date are $1,996.84, leaving a balance of $1,503.16. This the fund was something that we were able to acquire, so to speak, through during COVID, when federal government gave states, and then the states gave the towns money to help with things related to the pandemic. And what we did is we requested funding to be able to update and improve our trail system, especially boardwalks and bridges, because getting people outdoors was so important during COVID. So we still have $1,500 that we have to spend by the end of March of next year. And we, as a commission, had discussed purchasing some lumber in advance and storing it for projects. So that's probably what we'll be doing before March with that money. Any other thoughts or ideas from the commission on spending the ARPA funds at this point? Okay. All right. And just wanted to make notice that our capital improvement program, CIP request, will be due by December 9th this year. What the capital improvement plan does is it helps the town look ahead 5 years for large expenses. So if a potential project or item that commission or board or department wants to purchase exceeds a certain amount, then we have to ask the CIP committee to consider it, and then they move it forward to the Board of Selectmen, and then it goes to town meeting for the request. So what we've done in the past generally is we've requested a certain amount of money to be put into the town's open space fund, so it could be used for purchasing property or conservation easements in the future. Last year, our 5-year plan that we submitted was to request $40,000 a year for the next 5 years to be put into the CIP budget. And basically what they did is when it got all through that process during town meeting and discussion with Board of Finance and so on, we ended up getting $35,000 for this current year that got placed into the open space fund that can be used in the future. So although our request isn't due until the last date we can request is December 9th, because we've been having some concerns about getting a quorum and we have to vote on this, I'd just like to open this up to members tonight to see if we want to stay with that same plan of requesting $40,000 for the next 5 years, or do we want to change that?
I would certainly maintain that, Kathy. I know year before last, we had requested 30 and they had dropped us down to 25. So we decided to go up to 40.
Mm-hmm.
And with the acquisition of the Pedex property, that kind of depleted the fund a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it'd be a good idea to ask for the 40 again. And I think with the work that we've done with the various commissions, especially the Board of Finance over the years and CIP, we've seen to have found two groups of people that are willing to listen to what our concerns are about open space. And even though they cut us by 5,000 to, rectify the amount that they're going to give us and be able to fund other things in town, I think it's well worth asking for. And, as we move forward, in the next number of years, we're going to start looking at new firehouses and new schools or renovations of the schools. And it's going to put more of a burden on us trying to get funding. So I think while we're able to secure the 35,000 or ask for 40, and if we can secure the 35,000 for another year at least, we need to do that. We really do.
As far as I know, currently in the open space fund with the 35,000 going in, we'll probably have about $135,000 in there that can be used in the future. And often we try to use that, for matching funds if we go for grants from the state. So I would agree. I mean, it would be important to try to boost that fund every year, because we know, for example, just walking the King property, and we'll talk a little bit about that. They're asking over $1 million for their property. So the price of land has gone up considerably. And so we're going to need some adequate funds in that open space fund, to be able to move on purchases in the future.
Well, and the attorney fees aren't going to go down, and having the properties evaluated, each property, you have to have two looks at that. It adds up to $20,000 to $40,000 by the time you're finished with that, and that's, you know, that's after you just barely talk to the landowner, and we're not talking any money going to the landowner yet. So, yeah, as much as we can fatten our pot, because of increased costs, I think we should focus on that $40,000.
Any other thoughts, Jackie, Nora?
I agree with Bob. And you said we have till December to vote?
December 9th, by December 9th, we have to put our request in. So I go online and I do it all online.
So should we vote on it now, just in case?
That's what I was concerned about because if for some reason we didn't have a quorum in November, we
Right.
wouldn't, yeah,
I think we should vote on it.
okay. Does somebody want to make a motion on our request?
Can't hear you, Bob.
There it is. How's that? I'll make a motion that Conservation Commission ask for $40,000 this coming fiscal year for that amount to go into the open space fund for acquisition of open space properties.
And
I'll second that.
okay, just a friendly little amendment perhaps, Bob.
Sure.
Because our plan has to be for 5 years, so we have to look, we have to project out. We can change it year to year, but we have to put it in as a 5-year plan. So would you want to amend that to say 40,000 per
Per
year?
year, yes.
Okay,
That's better than 200,000 though, isn't it?
yeah. And Nora, do you want to still second his?
Yes,
friendly
please.
amendment? Okay.
Yes, please.
Thank you. Okay, any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, thanks.
Aye.
Thanks, Jackie. All right, so that's a unanimous. Thank you. All right, going down to old business, property management, Fenton Ruby Park. Bob and Patty had been out to clear a tree that had come down on the Taylor Pond Trail. And I guess there's, according to Bob, when I spoke to him a little earlier today, he said there's still a little bit more maintenance there to do. He's going out on Monday, right? Is Patty?
Yeah, I'm going out with Patty on Monday, 10 o'clock.
Okay.
That's my Paul Bunyan buddy for the
Okay.
woods.
Great. So if anybody wants to join them, they'll be out there at 10. I haven't heard anything else from any of the other stewards about any issues on the trails. But if anybody has a chance this coming weekend, maybe just to take a walk. And if you find any trees down or problems with the bridges after this little storm that we had, please, just text me or email me. Let's see. I just want to mention the timber harvest. I sent a notice out to everybody about the landowners adjacent to the park that are having a timber harvest, and Hull had gotten in touch with us because they have to use the Burma Road through the park to access that. And I know that they were going to go out and put some signage so that people would be aware there would be logging trucks and perhaps personal vehicles on that road. Bob, you said you had gone out and taken a look at the signage.
Yeah, they have signs as soon as you turn onto Burma Road, and then as you're walking on the different trails. I saw them on, I think, 2 of the trails. They have them posted on the trails. So if you're walking out, you're on the trail walking out onto Burma Road, you'll see the sign that warns of logging trucks.
Okay, great. Yeah, we had talked about it just because we didn't want anybody to be caught off guard if they're walking on Burma Road, coming around a corner and see, a truck or a vehicle driving through there where, we have it posted, no vehicles. Also, Hull put up a sign and information on the kiosk. So it explains what's happening and the benefits of a forest harvest. So we're grateful that Hull is willing to work with us on that.
Mhm.
Pedic Sanctuary. So the bronze plaque has been finished. Bob and I both saw it. Bob was the first recipient of it, handed it off to me so I could get it to Mark Boucher, who's going to be mounting it on the rock at Fenton Ruby.
Mhm.
And $1,250 is what the cost for the plaque was. And that's going to come out of the open space fund because it was a requirement of the purchase and sales. And Mark is planning to put that on the rock sometime soon. And that will cost $325 for him to do that work. And again, that will come out of open space funds.
It's a nice plaque.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Really, really nicely done. What we still need to do, we have the sign over on the property, the Pedic's property, that basically lets people know the name of the sanctuary and the date that it was established. We still need to work on the map in terms of adding that to the park. And also, we've talked about putting in a trail that goes from the Ruby Trail straight up to Burma, basically, so that people can access the Pedic Sanctuary a little quicker than going up the old part of Burma Road and around. So those are some things that maybe we can start to work on later this fall or even in the winter.
Mhm.
Jackie, would you be able to help us with adding that portion, that 7-acre parcel to the Fenton Ruby map?
I can do my best. As I mentioned to you, I no longer have GIS on a computer, a functioning computer, but I'm gonna try to work on that this winter, see what I can do.
Okay, that's great. Maybe if need be, we can see if land use department can help us with it. So,
I might be able to help with that too. I have some GIS capability at work.
okay.
It's not the best because it's the cheapest version, of course. But I can play around with it. I have a quick thing though about Pedix.
Yeah.
There is a new landowner that's adjacent to that part of the sanctuary near Lustig Road
Mm-hmm.
on the Ashford side, and they're planning on building. I only know what Troy told me, but they put up a gate.
Mm-hmm.
And have you seen it yet? I haven't been out there to see it.
Well, there was a gate there even before that land was sold.
Right, right, because I know the guys fixed it, but there's some,
Mm.
hang on just a second, let me ask, hold on.
Yeah, sure.
I'm asking Jay because he was out there.
Oh, okay. Yep. So for those that are waiting, go ahead, Heather. Oh. There had been a gate put up on Lustig so that the landowners in Ashford did not want people walking.
Right, there's a new one though. I have to go out there and look. This is relatively new. This woman is from North Carolina. She bought this property and plans to build in the next 2 years, but she put up a new gate. But I
Okay,
haven't been out there to look at it.
okay.
Because this like just happened and I went away last week. So
Okay.
I might drive out there tomorrow.
Okay.
No, I can't tomorrow, but Friday maybe.
Yeah, let us know what you find.
Yeah.
Photos, that'd be
Yeah,
great.
Troy mentioned it and he's like, did you guys know that? I said, no, I mean, and it's the Ashford side, so
Mhm.
I'm not sure about
Mhm.
what that means because I haven't seen it, but I
Okay.
just wanted you to be aware of that.
Yeah, well, basically the town of Willington does have legal right of access across that right of way to the property in Willington. Our plan was not to really use that area nor to allow pedestrian traffic because we're trying to, honor the wishes of the Ashford residents that live there and basically their properties abut that access road. So that's the other reason we were looking at trying to develop a small trail off of Ruby. So if people wanted to do a little loop, they could go up to the Pettix property and then maybe come down Burma Road. But certainly we'll want to know a little bit more about who the landowner is and what their plans are and how that might impact the use of the Pettix property. So thanks for that update.
I mean, I can keep my finger on the pulse of it because, like I said, I'm not sure what it looks like back there. I don't know, how adjacent her land is and what is she gonna do? Because
Mhm.
this just happened in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, well,
So
we do have a boundary markers up
Mhm.
on the boundary between her property and the Pettix property. But it'll be, important to kind of look and see
Mhm.
what people are doing because, they don't always know where their boundaries are sometimes, So good to know. The other thing I was going to ask about is how people feel about doing a hike and a work day sometime in November. There's some work that needs to be done on some bridges on Julia's Trail. And I had contacted the Boy Scouts to see if they could help because they've done so in the past. They don't appear to have time in November to do any of the work. We would probably have to get other volunteers to go out and replace some of the tops of there's a boardwalk probably 20 feet long that the tops really could be changed out. So people have an interest in doing something like that in November.
It depends on the weekend for me. I'm doing a bunch of deep stuff. It seems like November 15th, I have this major convergence of conferences everywhere. I don't know why that day has been picked for everything. So don't pick that day.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you
Well,
what. Go ahead, Bob.
we might want to take and just have a general conversation about getting the wood up there. That's not exactly a short walk. And if we could, at least a few of us get together a few times to lug up 2 or 3 of those pieces of board prior to the workday, so that we could focus on getting the work done as opposed to hefting the stuff up the hill.
Mhm.
That might be a good thought to have.
Yeah, we can figure out how many of the boards that we need, and then we can, Chris can cut them ahead of time, and maybe we can carry them out, or we can get some volunteers we can just flag that spot and ask people as they're going out for a walk, maybe to take one board.
Yeah.
So,
And I've still got that 12-footer leaning up against my barn too.
okay, great.
Yeah, I hike out Julia's Trail a lot. So, I mean, if there's boards to be brought out, I could always grab something on the way.
Okay, great. Great. So if people could do, maybe the best thing to do would be to ask, and I can send out an email so that the full commission gets the request, is to send some dates that people are available in November, where we could, number one, maybe plan a hike to take people out to see the Pettix property, because we really haven't officially done that.
Mhm.
And two, maybe have a half day of work where we could work on that boardwalk as a group. So I'll send out an email, see what people's availability looks like, majority.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right, and Knowlton Preserve and Talmadge Conservation Track. Tom Smith, the steward for the Knowlton Trail, said everything looks good. He just sent that the other day after the storm, so that was good. I haven't heard from the other stewards for the trails on the Talmadge side yet. So, but no negative reports. Collaboration and organizational news and communication. The last time we worked with the Willington Public Library was the scavenger hunt that Heather and Nora assisted with. Did you and Steve talk about any other potential collaboration?
Not at that time.
No.
I haven't, yeah. I was in the library recently for Kathy's retirement, and I did see Steve briefly, but it wasn't the time or place. So I'm not sure if they have anything coming up.
Okay.
I mean, you might be able to, would you be able to like team with him for the work day and the walk?
Certainly the walk, maybe they'd be interested in. They tend to do things more for kids. I'm not sure about the work day, but that's a good thought. I can ask
Yeah.
Steve. Yeah,
Meet the conservation team.
yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Maybe another scavenger hunt on the way.
I used to do them seasonally, so I mean that's an option.
Okay.
And the kids really enjoyed it, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think like you said, everybody's so busy. It's just hard to get people out.
Yeah.
But I know that Park and Rec, I had talked to Rachel and she originally said she'd be available on November 2nd to do a hike, but then she got back to me and said something came up. But she said she would help us with advertisement, on the Park and Rec site, anything we want to do for a hike. The other thing is with the library is traditionally we've done the Christmas bazaar and put together a raffle basket. So last year, I know Nora, you did a great job with at least coming up with a list of potential books, and we got that list over to the finance department. They ordered them on Amazon, and when they came in, then you wrapped them up, right? And in a basket.
Yes, but unfortunately, I'm not available to do that this year.
Right, right. So I'm just
Yeah.
throwing that out as, that's what we've done in the past.
And when Heather and I did the park presentation, Steve has a good handle on books that are newer, and I know Heather, you contributed a list too, but he had some really good books that the kids and adults would like. So maybe ask him if he has any suggestions. I mean, maybe you don't even want to do books.
Yeah, yeah, no, in the past, I think we did a combination of stuff too, right?
Mm-hmm.
The
Like
past.
trail mix and
Yeah,
field guides, that kind of thing.
yeah, yeah. So what it would take is someone to volunteer perhaps to come up with a list of items that we could order. And
And
then
it,
when they
and,
come in,
and if you can just send it to Rasheen,
Mhm.
we have the Amazon account. It was very easy. And I just had it sent to my house so I could wrap it all up. And Kathy, I think you donated the bag and I had an extra basket or whatever. So,
Yeah,
it's probably about $100 worth of stuff.
that's what we've traditionally done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, so if anybody on the commission wants to take a lead on that to maybe come up with a list of items, books, other little things that could be put into a basket for the raffle at the for the library's Christmas bazaar, keep that in mind. I'll be asking again in November.
Yeah, I don't mind doing that because I already have like lists of for stuff like that, and then I can work directly with Machine. So I have to work with her a couple times a week anyway.
Okay.
If that makes it easier,
Yeah. If
because she'll
that's-
just do it out of the line items for your budget,
Mhm.
right? And I can have it ordered, have it delivered to me at work.
Okay, we should vote on the amount,
Mhm.
so, as a commission. So does somebody want to make a motion regarding, um, budgeting or expending a certain amount of money for, the raffle basket at the Christmas bazaar?
I'll make a motion to budget for $120 just because of the tax and stuff. And I'm sure the prices have gone up on Amazon, I saw. So I make a motion to budget $120 for the raffle basket for the library fair. Is it called the fair?
So up to $120.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
Okay, well, thank you. Any other discussion?
Kathy, sorry to butt in.
Yeah.
I do have a couple of items that I could donate if you'd like for that. Next time I see you, I'll let you take a look at them and see if it's something that, you might want to add
No?
in. Okay.
Okay, thanks, Christine. Great. Okay. And just for the record, when we order through Amazon, because the town has tax-free status, nonprofit status, we don't pay any tax
Oh.
on anything, just so you know.
Mm.
But, okay, so you have a budget of up to $120. All in favor? Say
Aye.
aye.
I,
Nays? Abstained?
I,
So moved. Thanks, Jackie. Okay. All right. Let's put this down. All right. And I don't have any updates from Park and Rec about any activities coming up, but I know in the past they've done the turkey, what do they call it? At Fenton Ruby Park. I guess it's like a scavenger hunt for the turkeys. They put the little turkey signs up on the trail and the kids go out and look for them. And
Rachel is getting those ready today. I saw her in the office.
okay, so I imagine she'll be putting those out probably soon.
Yeah.
Great. Let's see. Natchog Healthy Watershed Advisory Board. I'm currently chairing that, and we've broken up into work groups and we're working on projects to try to educate forest landowners, residents, and municipal land use officials like planning and zoning members, in the wetland members about watershed health. So those are some of the goals that we have for the next coming year. If anybody's interested, we're still looking for people that might want to participate on a work group to work with folks that are farmers or, people in agriculture, looking at, talking about issues that impact watershed health. So if anybody's interested in that, let me know. The 300th anniversary in 2027 for the town, Bob. Any updates?
Yeah, actually. Yeah, so we're going to try to have a float next year in the Memorial Day parade. The latest is we're going to try to redesign the town seal to include the glassworks, the button industry, and the hall thread, and move the seal away from what it says at the bottom of our town. Now it says seal. Great. So we're probably add 1727 when the town was incorporated. And we're still talking about a number of different things. We're talking about a couple tours of South Willington, one in the spring, one in the fall. We've talked briefly about a couple walking tours of the green and the historic district that surrounds it. And if we can pull it off, maybe one or two walks in the Hill Cemetery, kind of explaining some of the key individuals that are resting there, and also so people can understand what the 1700s gravestones are all about. And they're all about clouds and living the vines, meaning another life after death. There's an awful lot that goes on with those old stones, and we have some really good examples in the Hill Cemetery that people from across the state come to look at. And a number of the stones are signed, which doesn't happen very often with the carvers. Unfortunately, an awful lot of those stones are red sandstone, and since the 80s, a number of them have lost their faces. Fortunately for us, the Historical Society had photographed all the stones in all the cemeteries in the 80s. So we have a record of all of those. So yeah, the cemeteries have a lot of stories that they can tell.
That's great. Thanks for that update.
Sure.
I know as a commission, we had talked about whether or not there was something we wanted to do to participate in that, in the anniversary. I think we had mentioned something like looking into scenic roads.
Yeah, scenic road ordinances, yes.
Yeah. Did anybody follow up on that to look into it a little bit more?
No, I can have a conversation with Troy about that. I know the Historic District Commission that I'm on looked into that, and there was some concerns from the road crew insofar as some limitations that get implemented when you do a scenic road through the state.
Hmm.
So I'll try to have a conversation with him in the next month to
Okay,
get some feedback from him.
okay, thank you. And then in terms of applying, like, so for example, if the commission wanted to nominate a road for are we talking about a seating road ordinance, just the ordinance itself? Or are we talking about going down the path of actually getting a road identified as a scenic road? Like that's a state process, correct?
I believe it is. When the Historic District Commission was considering that, we had looked at Moose Meadow Road.
Mhm.
And again, Troy was in the middle of doing some road work on Moose Meadow.
Mhm.
So the interesting thing about Moose Meadow, and coming up on the 300th anniversary, I have to say a few things about Moose Meadow. So Moose Meadow Road, where it leaves 74, everybody has this idea that, oh, it's Moose Meadow Road. Actually, it's the road to Moose Meadow.
Oh.
And Moose Meadow was a village that was at the juncture of Moose Meadow Road and Turnpike Road. So that was its own village. And where Moose Meadow and Jared Sparks comes together, the small colonial cape that's on the one side, the schoolhouse is on one side of the road, and the other house that's a small cape that's right on the road, that was the post office for the village of Moose Meadow.
Interesting.
So yeah, Moose Meadow is more than a road. Well, it once was.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's interesting. That's all right. So you'll follow up with Troy on that and maybe,
Now, yeah, I will.
okay, and look into, if we can look into, what would the process be? How long does that take? What are the things that the town would have to provide to apply? Those kinds of things. And what, like you said, what are the restrictions if it becomes a scenic road? So.
Right. And I don't know where you reach out to find out about that. The first stop might be a call to Preservation Connecticut. They seem to have their thumbs on things
I
like
can
that.
call SHPO too. And Bob, when you talk to Troy about that, let me know when you plan on talking to him so I can be there in that conversation, because I can offer some professional expertise on that. But also Moose Meadow, I absolutely 100% think it should be a scenic road. But there's maybe there's some grant availability, because the maintenance of that road is quite costly because it's so long and it's really in dire need in some sections, and we just can't afford it as a town. So it's been piecemeal. So that would be an angle to kind of approach Troy with, is my point of this
Yeah,
insight.
most of the state grants, I mean, we've dealt with Preservation Connecticut and SHPO with the Historical Society. And most of the grants that are available are matching grants.
Yeah, I know. And this town doesn't do that. Oh, I know.
And
I know very well.
the only place that you can get grants where they'll give you the money up front as opposed to after you turn your receipts in is if you can get a grant through 1772 Foundation through Preservation Connecticut. That money is given to you directly to use. It's not money after the fact, after you've paid for everything, which is sort of the standard fare with most grants. You know, you pay for it and then you have to have the money up front in full in order to make it happen. And then you get your 50% or 40% back, depending on the amount of the grant. So it makes it difficult in a lot of cases.
All right, well, some things to look into, and we have time to do that, so that's great. Thank you both for taking a lead on that. The other things I wanted to mention under communications is just the information I had sent out to everybody about the Yukon Native Plant and Pollinator Conference, which is on the 13th of November. Patty has expressed an interest in going to attending that. So if she does, she can turn in her receipt to the commission for her registration fee. And then the other one was the Connecticut Association of Conservation and Wetlands Commissions, the Kakiwik Conference on the 15th in Cromwell, which looks very interesting if anybody wants to go. I did send out information about that. All you need to do is turn in your receipt for your registration fee, and we could reimburse through the commission as well. All right, moving on to support for farmland preservation. Jackie, do you want to take a lead on presenting this to the commission again? You had sent out information.
Sure. Yeah, I think my mic is maybe going in and out a little bit, but let me know if you can hear me.
Yep.
It's kind of lagging a bit on my end, but anyways, so we had discussed putting forth some ordinances on farm tax exemptions for machinery and buildings, as well as a right to farm ordinance in town. So I had put together some proposals to present to the Board of Selectmen, as well as some draft ordinances that we had discussed some edits at our last meeting I attended. So I've made those edits and sent them out to everyone. So hopefully that's the final draft. And then Kathy and I were going to work on a cover letter to submit to the Board of Selectmen as well.
So for members, just kind of going back historically, back in March, we all voted to support these ordinances. And then Jackie basically kind of just tidied up the language and put together more information, background information for the proposed ordinances, so that when the Board of Selectmen reviews this, they understand where it's coming from, that it's, you know, allowed in state statute. It's to try to support farmers and farmland preservation. So I don't know if people have had a chance to, the editing that Jackie did for this meeting was they're just little minor edits, actually. And Jackie, I just wanted to let you know that there was one other thing I did add to it. Let me just bring it up. I'll try to see if I can share. Let's see. I can get back to where I was. Downloads here. I might have to go back to my mail. Okay, here we go. So the only thing I did is I had downloaded this and copied it into a Word document. I put drafts. Can everybody see this, by the way? Is my screen sharing?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so I just put draft suggested language on the top. And then down here where it has the words $15,000, Jack, you had put in $15,000 in numerals for one of them, but not the other. So I just added that in. So I did it on the other one.
Okay.
for, farm building.
Sounds
So.
good.
Does anybody have any question about this? For Jackie or? So just as a, remind us all, the farm machinery was something that the state already allowed for up to $100,000. And what we're proposing is that the town have an ordinance that says an additional assessed value of up to $250,000. So, for example, a building that had an assessed value of $350,000 could be exempted from taxation under this ordinance. But to qualify, an individual or a group would have to derive at least $15,000 in gross sales from their farming operation or $15,000 in expenses. And when Jackie had talked to the tax assessor, she sent some information that identified that there were probably right now about six people in town that qualify for the $100,000 exemption up to $100,000 assessed value exemption. And they probably would have some of them would have buildings that would, excuse me, not buildings, but machinery that might be a little higher than that, but I don't think many. So we were trying to identify.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think no one at the moment had any higher than 100,000
Okay, maybe I'm thinking
for
about
the machinery.
the buildings then. Okay. So we were looking at
Yeah.
what would be the impact to the town's tax revenue? Because we know that's going to be a question when we present this. And then let me just share the other one.
Okay. Down.
Okay, let me see here. I'm going to get back to the other one there. So the building exemption. So the building exemption would allow up to $500,000 of assessed value to be tax exempt. And I think that one was the one, Jackie, where people that were already qualifying for the farm machinery, that some of those people, certainly would qualify for that, for the farm building exemption. But again, not many in town. All right, any other any questions or comments?
I think we had covered it the last time Jackie presented it to us. And I think you guys are going to tweak it a little bit to get to the higher amounts.
Did you have metrics? I don't know if I missed this the last time about like what the impact would be to the tax base. I mean, if you're talking about 6 potentially properties, I mean, by having these exemptions, do you have the metrics for that when you present the ordinances?
Yeah, because the tax assessor can provide information about what they currently are exempting for those 6 people that do qualify, that have expenses or revenue in excess of 15,000. And plus they have to apply for it as well. They have to apply to the assessor for this exemption. So it's
Okay,
not,
so it's not automatic.
no,
Okay.
no. So we certainly can do that. And based on the new current mill rate, we can come up with some of those figures probably if they want them, or they can ask the tax assessor, to do it.
Yeah, let her do it. She has all the info.
Yeah, that's where we would get it anyway, but they could ask what the impact would be. Yeah, Jack?
Oh, no, I wasn't.
Yeah, we know, how challenging this last budget, passing the budget was. And so there's going to be some sensitivity again to anything that could potentially reduce the revenue in town. But what we have to do is we have to sell the fact of how important this is for what the community wants in terms of resource protection, open space preservation. People want to keep their rural character in town, and by supporting farmers and farmland preservation, this is the way we're going to be able to achieve that. And, you know, the good news too is the Economic Development Commission, they've come up with their draft strategic plan for the town, and it includes supporting agriculture and facilitating more farming in town as part of the economy for the town. So that's good. That's besides the Plan of Conservation and Development, which supports agriculture, and the Economic Development Strategic Plan. You know, again, bringing that forward and saying this is all consistent with that will help to, you know, get people behind these ordinances. Great. So Jackie and I will, if it's okay with the commission, Jackie and I will kind of move this forward, and we're going to have some new people on the Board of Selectmen. So we're going to let them get settled, let the dust settle a little bit. And then we'll ask them to put it on the agenda, and we'll let people know in case you want to come out or Zoom in to support, you know, if you have things to say during the meeting. All right, moving on. Town development. Anybody have any updates from planning and zoning and the wetlands, ZBA?
Yeah, the planning and zoning had a informal discussion with a gentleman regarding a property on River Road. For those of you that can find it, it's MLB 47-001-0A. It's the parcel to the north of the old steel fabrication plant that's now home to Z's Antiques. Right after that, there's two houses. The first house you come to owns this, I think it's a 25 or 35 acre parcel of land that they're selling separate from the house. And gentleman came in, and basically it's kind of like paintball, but it's not as big as paintball. They're really small plastic spheres. He already runs an operation like this in, I believe, Southington. That's very successful. And won't be a building. There'll be a parking lot for about 40 or 50 cars, set back probably about 50 or so feet from the road. It won't be an asphalt parking lot. It'll be a gravel parking lot, and it'll be used on weekends only.
So it's an outdoor?
Outdoor.
Okay.
What he likes about the property is all the rock outcroppings and the rough and tumbleness of the property. And if anybody knows that whole side of the River Road there, it goes up on a pretty steep slope, and it's just loaded with erratics. So that's, and Mike is going to work with him. Planning and zoning thought it would be a good use of property since it pretty much keeps the property as it is, except for a parking lot. So that's what's new.
Okay, so that was an informal hearing, Bob?
That was an informal discussion. It
Okay.
wasn't anything brought formally. He wanted to know what his options were and what line of questions he needed to ask and answer before he got into it. He was well prepared. He had a really good presentation, laid out what he was doing at his other facility in the state. And that's about it.
Is this a change in zoning as well? Like, is it commercial property right now, or what is it?
Well,
Or residential?
when you look at the revised zoning that we just went through,
Mhm.
land like that can be used for a myriad of things. And since this is a type of entertainment, there's an entertainment notch in the regulations. So no, there wouldn't need a zone change. There's a few things that have to be talked about and maybe tweaked, but we thought the Planning and Zoning Commission thought that it would be best to not tweak the regulations, but maybe get a variance or something like that. So that's Mike's working on that, and I don't know when we'll see that, or if he follows through. He seemed like he was very energetic about moving forward with that, and he thought that it would be good for the restaurants in town. He says when the guys show up before they start the game, and the game lasts all day long, and when they come in to play the game, they stop and usually have breakfast, get themselves all psyched up. And when they leave, they usually stop and have something to eat before they leave too. So, between Willington and Stafford, it's going to help, some of the restaurants.
Okay, great. Any questions for Bob on that, or? There would be minutes about it as well, and
There would be,
if he's
yeah.
interested. Okay.
Yeah, and you can check out our last minutes. It was all there and recorded. And like I say, it was just an informal discussion. And any of the back and forth between Mike and Mr. Miller is available on that recording.
Okay, great. All right. Anything else from anyone else on any of the other commissions? Open space opportunities. The last time I had any contact with Mrs. Powell off of Jared Sparks Road was almost 9 months ago, and I've tried to contact her several more times about her property that we had been interested in discussing with her more, and I have not been able to get in contact with her, so I'm not sure if something's happened. She was living down in Kansas, so haven't heard anything. Has anybody identified any other potential open space opportunities? Bob and I did walk on the King property off of Jared Sparks Road. Bob, I'm trying to remember what the total acreage was. Do you remember? Is it one?
About 250 acres. I think it's 200.
200, yeah.
Right around 200.
But they, unfortunately, I mean, it's a beautiful piece of property. It's very hilly, and but it's got a nice forest. It's a pretty healthy forest. They've got some wetlands on the property, a lot of rocky outcroppings and stuff throughout the property. Make a nice piece of property for conservation. I don't think we felt it was highly developable. It's not
No.
something where somebody's going to buy it and put on, 30 houses. But certainly somebody could make some smaller lots on it, or excuse me, larger lots on it, and put in some houses if they wanted to. But they're asking, I think, 1.2 million for it, and it's
Right.
really kind of out of reach of the town. Unfortunately, it's in a trust, and there's multiple trustees, so even trying to negotiate would be very challenging, I think, to, get the price down.
Although they did say that they were willing to talk,
Yeah, but the
but
town,
still,
if we
it's,
went for a grant, we'd have to come up with 50% of
Right.
the purchase price, which at this point would be a real leap. We'd have to bond for it.
yeah, it'd be a big ask.
Yeah. Yep. So, but what we did do is, gave him some thoughts and ideas about, maybe reaching out to other organizations, that might be able to think about how it fits into their goals and objectives. The state of Connecticut does have an acquisitions program through DEEP, and they certainly could reach out to them to see if they would review the property and see if it's something that DEEP might be interested in for conservation or wildlife management area. So we did provide that information to Charlie and his family. Let's see, Willington Wire. Laura had sent out an article earlier this summer, but I don't believe they've published the wire yet. Is that correct? As far as
Rachel just got an assistant the other day.
okay, yay. So Park and Rec is in charge of publishing the Willington Wire. And I know that she's trying to do 10 things at once. So hopefully with the assistant, that'll help.
Right.
Communications. I got an email from the deep forester who's in charge of the Nyholman State Forest. And they came together, they put together a draft forest management plan, which I'll send out via email to folks. It's about 60 pages long, and they're looking for comments. Nyholman Forest spans across 3 towns. It's part of it's in Tolland, Ellington, and in Willington. There's about 100 acres in Willington. Most of that's along the Willimantic River. So, it would be important to look at it from a watershed perspective. It also, if people are familiar with Village Hill Road, and then there's Mycoscience, the town has a conservation easement on part of Mycoscience's property that's along Roaring Brook, and that's adjacent to the Nyholman Forest in that area as well. So when you have a chance, if you want to look over the plan and send me any comments, I'll combine them and we can send them on to DEEP. Open space and natural resource mapping. We had talked about starting to work on that this winter in terms of kind of updating the open space maps. I had hoped Carol would be around to help us with this because she's been very helpful in the past. But we'll have to get through some of this ourselves and maybe review our natural resource inventory that we had done back in 2016, I think, and update that as well. And, maybe people can think about offering to read so many pages of it and consider like working on portions of it as part of the update. So what I'll do probably next month is I'll send out our natural resource inventory from that period of time and ask people to start to, look it over. Maybe there's a part of it that you say, hey, I'm interested in water resources or forestry, or, I'd like to look at that and see if there's any updates that we can add or changes we can make to that portion of the document. Any other thoughts on that? Great. And getting on to membership. We have 2 vacancies right now. We have Carol's seat, which is a regular member, and then we have an open alternate seat. And we have a lucky conundrum right now. We have 3 people interested in joining the commission. Ellie Lowell, who's not here tonight, has also indicated she's interested in joining. I'm not sure what's going to happen for Marilyn in the future, if she's going to be able to return to the commission. So that's a potential seat that might be open in the future. But right now, we need to fill Carol's seat. So I was wondering if people wanted to discuss, moving to nominate one of the two people that are here tonight to fill that seat. We would recommend, what we would do is move to recommend that the Board of Selectmen appoint that person as a regular member.
Would it, if I became an alternate, because I'm not in town right now, I'm not there until after June. If I became an alternate, could we take these two people?
Well,
Or not?
we can take both of them regardless, Nora.
Oh.
I mean, and if you're not able to make a meeting, we can always seat an alternate, for your seat, for a meeting that you can't make. So I wouldn't worry about that right now
Okay.
so much.
Okay.
We have two vacancies, and
Oh, I thought we only had one. I'm sorry.
we have one regular seat and one alternate seat.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll zip
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, the commission is made of 7 regular members and 3 alternates.
Sorry
And
about that.
yeah, and Heather and Patty are alternates, and I did ask them if they wanted to move up to be a regular
Okay.
member, and they said right now they prefer to stay as alternates.
Okay.
So I had, Tessa's probably she definitely was the first person that had shown an interest in joining the commission, and then Ally and Ellie. And that's going to be interesting to try to say, Ally and Ellie, going forward. They had recently contacted me about joining the commission. So Tessa had made the first move. So I'd like personally move to recommend that the Board of Selectmen appoint Tessa Gutowski as a regular member to fill the seat vacated by Carol Jordan, with a term that would expire 12/01/2027.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposition? Any abstentions? Okay, so move. Welcome, Tessa. We're gonna recommend you. Shouldn't be any issues there. All right, and then for Ally, if someone like to make a motion for Ally to come on as an alternate member to fill the open alternate seat. And
So
that,
moved. So moved.
okay, and that term, just so you know, would expire December 1, 2027. Okay, Bob, do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Heather, thank you. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, nays? Abstained? So moved. Okay, Ally. So the process for both of you will be that I'm going to write a letter to the Board of Selectmen, letting them know that the commission has recommended that you be appointed in those seats. And what will happen is they will put it on their agenda, their meeting agenda. I can't tell you exactly when. They usually try to notify you when they're going to be discussing it. It's usually just a formality. If you want to attend the meeting, it's nice. They get an opportunity maybe for a minute or two to talk to you about your interest, and then they usually move forward just to appoint you. So it's pretty much a formality. After they formally appoint you, you will have to stop by the town clerk's office, I believe within a week or two, and she basically swears you in. I think they just do that too, to make sure they have all of your correct information about your address, and so that, if they have to contact you. So, any questions about that? Okay. And once the Board of Selectmen officially appoints you to the commission, I'll send you out a packet of information that includes our responsibilities, the state statutes about the Conservation Commission, and so on. and a list of all the members and their contact information.
Thank you. I look forward to it.
Yeah, great. Thank you for your willingness to serve and be part of our group. We try to have fun. When we used to meet in person, we used to like share things like, you know, a bag of candy or, you know, people bring cookies. It's a little harder now on Zoom, but we still try to have fun. And although our meetings right now are scheduled for Zoom, in the future, if we feel that we have something that would be better if we met in person, we might try to meet, you know, we would schedule it ahead and we can meet at the town office building so that we could put our heads together there. I think sometimes working on things like maps, maybe would be helpful just to, you know, sit around on a table and look things over might be helpful in the future. So maybe sometime this winter, we might have a meeting at the town office building. Is there anything else people want to bring up under old business before I move on to new business? Okay, so new business. The Daly Award, the official title is really the Raymond K. Daly Environmental Action Award. And it's an award that the commission gives out to an individual or an organization that has made a difference in terms of the town's natural resources and the environment. And every year we just kind of discuss if there's someone we feel that should be nominated for that award. The last time it was given was in 2022. It was given to Peter Anderson, who had been our chair on the commission for many years. But we have not had an awardee since that time. And so I just wanted to open it up tonight to see if people want to nominate anybody for that award.
I move to nominate Carol Jordan for that award.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
I'd second that.
Okay. Okay. Any discussion? So,
No, just that Carol put in so much time and effort and energy, and you know, she's certainly should be recognized for the work that she's done for us over the years.
Carol served on the commission almost 30 years. She was one of the initial people that was on the planning committee for Fenton Ruby Park when the land was purchased, and establishing the park management plan as well as some of the trails in the beginning. So, and she's been treasurer probably for that almost that long on our commission. So it's yeah, I think she'd be a great person to get the award.
Mhm.
Is there anybody else? I just want to make sure if there's somebody else that people have been thinking about. Okay, so moving forward with that motion to give the award this year to Carol Jordan. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Abstentions? So move. Okay, thank you. All right, so I'll send a letter to Carol and let her know that we're going to give the award to her this year. I can see if she and her husband would be coming back to town for anything. I know she had mentioned to me that they may be back in town to go to some Hartford stage events. So I'll see if maybe we can find a time where we could maybe take her out for pizza like we did for Peter a couple years ago. Maybe invite some people that were past commission members as well that serve with her. And we can, you know, give her the award there. And again, when I send out a notice about dates that people might be available in November, we can keep that in mind too. You know, maybe putting something together for Carol if she can come back to town. I did talk to Mark Drobny, who has made a plaque in the past for our recipients. And he said he'd be very happy to make a plaque for whoever we award the daily to this year. So he said it would cost $50. He would charge $50. So if somebody wants to make a motion for that expense, I can let him know who the awardee would be.
So moved.
Okay, second. Nora, I see your hand. Thanks. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
I,
All right, so moved. Thank you. Okay, and the other thing I wanted to bring up too, under membership, I forgot, is with Carol leaving, we really need a treasurer, somebody who would be willing to volunteer as a treasurer. It's not a terribly difficult job. It's a matter of just keeping track of our expenses. So whoever, if somebody buys something, goes to a conference, submitting the receipt to the treasurer would submit that bill to the finance office to be sure that it got paid. And just at every meeting or every other meeting, just kind of giving an update of where we are with our budget, you know, what's been expended, what's the balance. So that's really the job of the treasurer. If somebody wants to consider doing that, can let me know, and then we can talk about it in November.
Fair enough.
Okay. And we still need a vice chair. We've been short of a vice chair for a while. So if anybody feels like they would like to be a vice chair, the role of a vice chair would be maybe chairing a committee meeting, you know, if I'm not available, going to a meeting, you know, to convey Conservation Commission recommendations, something like that, if I'm not available. So if somebody would like to step up to be vice chair, excuse me, let me know. All right, let's see, Town Commission's website. So Heather knows a lot about this because she's one of the administrators now for the upcoming website for the town. Heather, do you want to talk quickly about what's happening at the town level with the website?
yeah, sure. So I'm one of the like super admins for this site. There's 4 of us. And we have a new website that the plan is to launch it at the end of this month. The website we have is phasing out because it's just not supported anymore. And they're not, the company that was managing it isn't supporting that system anymore. So we're forced to do the new website. However, the good news is the new website, super user friendly. It's a much cleaner, I think, it can be a less cluttered interface. And the idea, the streamlining of this interface is that people can find what they need in like 2 clicks or less. That's what they're saying. But there's a lot of opportunity for our commission page, anybody's page, but for this purpose, the commission's page, to customize it in a way that might be more creative and more engaging in line with Conservation Commission. And there's some great features on there, and I can help with that. Kathy, I don't know, were you going to do any of the training, or?
I was going to be on Zoom
Okay.
tomorrow.
Okay, good. I did a bunch of it earlier, and then so if there's any questions, you can come to me, and if I don't know it, we'll find it out. But I've already played around with it. I really like it. I think everybody's gonna like it. I really do. It's definitely brought us into the 21st century a little more. So I think you'll like it. So look for that. Yeah, and then obviously, you know, they're importing over the current information on the website, but I'm sure there'll be some tweaking in the background to make things look the way you want, but things are going to be archived, you know, all of the minutes. That's not going away. So don't worry about losing that information.
So you're saying what we currently have on the Conservation Commission webpage will migrate over?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes, I've already seen it. I've looked at this page, and I've been playing around with Public Works and Transportation page, and that information's there. It's in draft form right now, but they're still migrating things over, like minutes and and agendas and things that archived. They're working on that, the company in the background, but yeah, all of that'll be there. You don't have to worry about losing any of that. You're not gonna really have to recreate anything from the launch, but you will have to go in and check, and maybe the way things are lined up aren't what you like, or the information can be updated, but you can at least get the bare bones of it on there and then play around with it later. You can incorporate videos, and there's a FAQ section. There's a lot of cool stuff that make it easier to navigate, but also give us an opportunity for public engagement.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
wonderful. Yeah. Any questions for Heather on that? Okay. All right. So that's all I have under new business. Is there anything else people wanted to bring up? Any other ideas, questions, projects you would like us to consider?
One of the things I forgot to comment, I'll make it quick because I know it's 8:30. I've been hiking out there, I've noticed, I don't know how to manage this, but people are throwing trash in the lost and found box.
Okay.
So I've been cleaning that out, but I don't know if we want to do something different, especially the kiosk area. And then how are you guys handling off-leash dogs? I educate people when I'm there, but I don't know.
That's
Well, I think we all have, and I know I've been cussed out a number of times. Now the latest thing is people pick up their dog poo and leave the tied bags along the trail and roads.
Yeah, that was another
You know?
observation, because when I was cleaning out the lost and found, and I walk my dogs there and I have poop bags, but I usually leave my poop bags by my car. You usually know it's me, and then, and I've had people get nasty with me. It's the same offenders, and I do educate the reasons why keeping them on leash, as far as just safety for everybody, but also wildlife and protecting trails and off trail. So I don't know. I know the sign was fixed and we have poop bags there, right?
no.
We
We
don't know.
don't have a poop bag dispenser.
Mhm.
See, the thing is, if we have a garbage can for the poop bags, someone's got to manage getting those bags. Anyways, it's just a thought. I know you guys deal with it all the time, but I don't know what else to do. People just are so stuck on. I saw 2 hooded mergansers in the spring chased away by 2 off-leash dogs. And they were there for a couple of days. I really think they were looking for a nesting site. And then I was sitting on the bench across from Taylor Pond and saw these 2 dogs off leash chase them away, and they did not come back. So it's things like that. You know, I try to use that opportunity, but yeah, I'm a dog person, so I can criticize it.
No, it's true. I mean, we've had this issue for a long time that, there are people that respect the signs and that always keep their dog on leash, and then there's others that don't, or will let their dog off leash, and if they see a person, they'll call the dog over and they'll leash it. But I'm not sure, we've never come up with a way that we can really do it, short of just saying no dogs, which I think would cause a riot.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't like it, I bring my guys out there on leash, but yeah, I don't know. I'm sure you guys are observing it too. I ran into a few nasties the last couple of weeks, so it was on my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, it almost takes an interaction between a large animal and one of those dogs to, and then let people hear the story start circulating around. And, although, we don't want that to happen, but
It's
you know,
inevitable. I mean, there's been a lot of displacement because of the fragmentation in the forest up on Moose Meadow and Turnpike I saw
Well-
porcupine, like because the bears and things moving around. So I don't know.
right, and there is an awful lot of bear activity in the area. And, sooner or later, there's going to be an interaction between a dog and a bear. And the outcome isn't going to be nice. But until then, people feel that they want to let their dogs off the leash. And, on occasion, I say things, and
I know, other than being the dog leash police, which I don't want to be. That never
No.
goes well, but I don't know, maybe there's some outreach. I mean, if people are looking at the kiosk, I could make something that talks about, you know, why we want them on leash. It's not just for their safety, but just to protect the trails and the wildlife and have examples. I don't know. It's a problem
Well-
everywhere.
Well, it is. And, you know, one of the first things people will say is that, oh, well, my dog's not aggressive. And, well, it may not be aggressive, but when it sees wildlife, it kind of reacts differently.
Yeah, sure. It's a
How,
dog.
how do you educate that? You know,
Yeah.
it's difficult.
I'm going to work on it though. I'm going to talk with my deep colleagues for public outreach because we do deal with this a lot and see if there's any suggestions on that.
Go get them.
I'll get back to you.
I know I try to, you know, thank people that I see with their dogs on leash. I always say, thank you for keeping your dog on a leash, you know, because I haven't gotten anywhere with the carrot. I mean, seems with the stick.
Yeah, no, I agree. I do thank people when I see them and use that as an opportunity to also just a quick, you know, quip of why it's important that they stay on leash, you know, not just for the dog's safety, but for, you know, our wildlife sanctuary.
Yeah.
And most people are amicable, you know, great about it. But yeah, the stick isn't working.
And I don't know if, you know, if the town considered like developing a dog park, so to speak, you know, a place where people could walk their dog off leash. It would be, you know, that could be something that could be considered, something that wasn't so fragile or, you know, had as many natural resources as the park, where people could be,
That's it, Loves.
yeah, it loves, yeah, it's real small. Yeah, but, all right, well, good thoughts and conversation tonight. I hope everybody has a good month. Like I said, I'll send out some emails with, looking for some dates in November. And, if anything comes up in between, you know how to get in touch.
Okay.
Okay.
Night, everybody.
All right. Good
Night.
night. Good night. And Jackie, thank you again for working on those ordinances. Thanks so much.
No problem.
Okay, good night.